I felt it was time that you heard directly from me that I am sorry.
He became arrogant and cocky, and everything that he did for me or the kids, he has to be praised for.
I want to thank Rihanna too for, helping propel the album to.
Well, he's not here today, but I want you to help me sing this one. It's called Love the Way You Lie.
Grammy goes to
Recovery!
The first of 3 chart-topping collaborations between Eminem and Rihanna, Love the Way You Lie, was the second single on Eminem's second studio album, Recovery. First demoed in late 2009 and officially released in June 2010, the song was an instant international success for the US megastars, claiming the #1 chart spot in over 20 countries, before reaching #1 again in both the UK and Australia's end-of-year charts. But beneath the glamour of pop royalty smeared across this track, Love the Way You Lie reveals a much darker side of the human psyche, as personally experienced by its writers and performing artists. Eminem and Rihanna offers a searing insight into abusive relationships. Under the guise of a catchy pop song, this hit tackles a host of taboo subtopics in an unflinchingly realistic light. Its lyrics split between the male and female perspectives of a broken relationship riddled with domestic abuse. The song is notable for Rihanna's telltale chorus lyrics, drawing clear parallels to her disastrous relationship with Chris Brown, which ended only 1 year before the track's release. After shocking images of injuries suffered at the hands of Brown swept the media,
it's humiliating to see your face like that. I get very embarrassed. I get angry all over again. Every time I see it, the whole thing plays back in my head, so I don't like to see it.
Rihanna's entanglement with abuse catapulted her into the headlines against her will, an experience she could reclaim by telling her own lyrical story behind the violence. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn? Well, that's all right because I like the way it hurts. Just gonna stand there and hear me cry? Well, that's all right because I love the way you lie.
This happened to me, and it can happen to anybody. There are a lot of women who've experienced what I did, but not in the public. So it made it really difficult. I just felt like, oh my God, here goes my little bit of privacy. It's something that nobody wants anybody to know. So here I am, the whole world knowing.
Just as Rihanna's lyrics allude to her past relationship with Chris Brown, Eminem's fictionalized lyrics are also rooted in his personal experience. Eminem's romantic friction is well documented throughout his discography, such as his 2000 track Kim, which carries some of his most notorious lyrical manifestations of domestic violence. Sit down. You move again, I'll beat the shit out of you. Love the Way You Lie is equally a reflection of Eminem's intensely controversial relationship with his ex-wife, Kim Scott.
What made you cry? Just the lyrics and the fact that he is supposed to be the man that loves me and is supposed to protect me, from being hurt. And here he is completely and totally disrespecting me in the worst way possible in front of millions of people. And in front of our kids, my family, my friends.
Much like in real life, Eminem plays the perpetrator of the abuse in his lyrics, while Rihanna plays the role of the victim. Although this isn't the first track Eminem has dedicated to understanding his abusive tendencies, Rihanna's collaborative appearance paints a deeply reflective dimension unfound in his previous lyrical work. With both artists' abusive past relationships making front-page news over the decade prior, the ultra-revealing nature of their collaboration resembled an act of therapy, fearlessly embodying a message of recovery for both abuse victim and perpetrator, spoken by people who had recognizably assumed those roles in the past.
This happened to me, and it can happen to anybody. And I'm glad it happened to me, because now I can help young girls when they go through it.
The song is rooted in the emotional battle between love and hate, which can spawn the degrading cycle of domestic abuse. Eminem and Rihanna's most prominent message captures the inability to break ties with an abusive partner, becoming trapped in a dissociating spiral of extreme commitment and polarizing hatred towards the one you love and the life you share. Right before I'm about to drown, she resuscitates me. She fucking hates me and I love it. Interweaving his dense, rapped verses between Rihanna's melodic choruses, Eminem's smothering vocals mimic the incessant, overpowering voice of an abuser, leaving little space for his victimized partner, the role taken by Rihanna, to speak up. This forms just one of many ways Eminem recreates the cycle of abuse within his lyrics, whilst replicating the back-trailing emotional blackmail imposed by abusers to keep their partner trapped in their game. When it comes to love, you're just as blinded, baby, please. Come back, it wasn't you, baby, it was me.
Initially, you start thinking, what could I possibly have said to make him hit me and do this? Like, you replay that in your head, and then, eventually you're like, stop.
Love the Way You Lie centers around temperamental attitudes, its lyrics subtly stagnating with themes of fighting, forgiveness, and the total breakdown of worthwhile communication into chaotic physical displays. Eminem's stylistically conversational lyrics reflect the heat of the moment during an argument, his near uncomfortable levels of realism cementing the relatable truth within his fictionalized story. Maybe that's what happens when a tornado meets a volcano. All I know is I love you too much to walk away, though. Come inside, pick up your bags off the sidewalk. Don't you hear sincerity in my voice when I talk? Told you this is my fault. Look me in the eyeball. Next time I'm pissed, I'll aim my fist at the drywall. True to his controversial nature, Eminem's lyrics depict the two sides of every story, even the wrong side, or the abuser's perspective, often disregarded in favor of the victim's view. While Rihanna's sparse chorus lyrics uncover a girlfriend's inability to leave a toxic partner, Eminem's verses reveal what drives an abuser to hurt the one they love like clockwork. High off her love, drunk from her hate, it's like I'm huffing paint and I love her. The more I suffer, I suffocate. Eminem uniquely demonstrates the abuser's will to understand what riles them into a state of violence. In this sense, Love the Way You Lie is about an abuser's attempts to rid themselves of their own toxic habits, as much as it is about a victim escaping their relationship, whether by dissociating into the all-consuming nature of violent love, or by unraveling their inner demons in genuine self-improvement. Compared to Eminem's early lyrics composed in the midst of his abusive relationship, his verses establish his own personal progression and change in mindset when it comes to understanding his past. Like this underlying message of detaching from one's abusive past, Love the Way You Lie was a track which needed to happen if Eminem and Rihanna were to move forward, both in their music careers and in their personal lives.
I'll say that to any young girl who's going through domestic violence. Don't react off of love. F love. Come out of the situation and look at it third person and for what it really is, and then make your decision, because love is so blind.
Eminem's 2010 album, Recovery, on which the collaboration was featured, marked a dramatic shift in his musical attitude shortly after returning from his mid-2000s hiatus. Rihanna's discography, meanwhile, evolved from the gritty sound of her 2009 album, Rated R, to the upbeat dance-pop album, Loud, in 2010, which saw the release of some of her biggest hits to date, including Only Girl in the World and We Found Love. This track became a part of its artist's own healing processes, as much as it has become a song of healing and recovery for its audience, who relate to its uniquely sobering themes of abuse. Eminem's trademark use of wordplay transplants lessons gained from his real-life experiences into the underlying context of his lyrics. Two instances stand out in particular, the first being his sleek allusion to being knocked head over heels with intense love, contrasted with physically hitting a partner. You ever love somebody so much you can barely breathe when you're with them? You meet, and neither one of you even know what hit them. Another standout instance of wordplay derives from the strange feeling of heartbreak after leaving an abusive relationship, a transition which should ultimately be for the better as excess negativity is severed, but which leaves you feeling emotionally shattered and wanting to return to their comfort. You don't get another chance. Life is no Nintendo game, but you lied again. Now you get to watch her leave out the window. Guess that's why they call it window pane. Love the Way You Lie was a collaborative effort across the board, the hit passing through the hands of many songwriters and producers before finally being crowned with Rihanna's vocals. British hip-hop producer Alex the Kid produced the beat before passing the initial track on to Skylar Grey, who wrote the chorus lyrics and melody in a time frame of only 15 minutes. According to Skylar, her chorus, which remains unchanged on the official release, metaphorized the abusive relationship she perceived between the music industry and its artists, rather than coming from the perspective of a domestic abuse victim. Skylar and Alex the Kid's demo was then picked up by Eminem, who laid his rap verses over the piece, solidifying its lyrical concepts of abuse by transferring them to a romantic setting. Eminem reached out to Rihanna, fully aware that the song's unashamedly taboo content would resonate with her recent experiences with Chris Brown, whilst giving the Barbadian icon a chance to add her own truth to the topic. Rihanna replaced Skylar Grey's demo vocals, reclaiming its message to tell her own story.
I heard the song and I just loved it. I mean, it was a hit, but I didn't know how intense the song would be to people. I didn't expect people to connect with that song the way they did. It was really, really incredible to see. What I really enjoy about this song is not only how cleverly written it is, but the fact that he confronts himself on this record was the biggest thing for me.
Eminem and Rihanna's music video matches their A-list collab with another iconic celebrity pairing, Megan Fox and Dominic Monaghan, cast as a couple trapped within the lyrical cycle of abuse. After depicting the couple literally playing with fire, the music video subtly illustrates how passionate fighting turns quickly to passionate affection, mirroring the chorus's hidden sentiment of being turned on by abuse and degradation. A burning house forms the background to the music video, representing how domestic violence wreaks havoc over one's home life, spreading terror into all aspects of love and security. Alongside illustrating the moment, the all-consuming flame of passion dissipates love into hatred, disaster, and chaos. Rihanna's appearance in front of the burning house also represents an abuse victim burning the false facade of happiness after finally leaving their toxic relationship, destroying their old life and all that might keep them tied down to the miserable past. With over 2 billion streams on YouTube, Eminem and Rihanna's collab left an unattested mark on pop music of the 2010. Regarded by Rihanna as a really unique record, Love the Way You Lie found success for bringing complex and often disregarded emotional topics to the forefront of the music scene. Given Rihanna's tearful scenes in the video, this track is often seen as providing closure for the pop singer from her recent past with Chris Brown, whilst giving a unique voice to the abuser through Eminem's verse lyrics. Despite its fictionalized lyrical story, Love the Way You Lie is clearly influenced by the real-life situations faced by both artists. Its hidden messages surrounding entrapment, survival, and even an abuser's need to comprehend their past continue to resonate amongst the genre's audience, its realistic portrayal of domestic violence unmatched across the chart-topping pop scene.
The minute the physical wounds go away, you want this thing to go away. This is a memory you don't want to have ever again.